Ako po si Audrey De Jesus from the IBON and Media and Communications Department and your host for today. We'd like to welcome all of you to the 2018 Yearend Birdtalk, an economic and political forum regarding today's most urgent issues, and that's also promoting a wider understanding of economics and alternatives from the perspective of the Filipino people. I see that we have a lot of familiar as well as new faces here today. We look forward to sharing our analysis with you and to discuss this with you further. To start off our forum, we'll be having inputs first from our two speakers, and this will be followed by question and answer discussion, and then after that, an open forum. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first speaker that will share about the economic highlights from the past year in 2018. Let's give a warm round of applause for IBON's Executive Director, Sunny Africa.
Okay. Fortunately, the DBM had a press conference yesterday. One of their major points was this. The first 2 full years of administration of President Rodrigo Duterte registered the highest level of economic growth among post-Marcos administrations. So January 16, medyo fresh off the press. I think it's a useful way to take off the discussion on the economy. Kasi, yeah, you know, we expect the economic managers na parang eternal sunshine, you know, things are always great, we're doing our job well. But alam ko, it's never a good way to start the year with bad news. But parang sometimes, wala niyo Kung Fu Panda? Hindi. No? Okay. Sa Kung Fu Panda, si Shifu, natanong doon about good news and bad news. About bad news. Sabi niya, there's no such thing as bad news, there's only news. Ngayon, as my way to apologize, I think there's a lot of things not being said about the economy na we should sort of focus on. Kasi, guys, it's not a question of good news or bad news. The question is, what is the reality? Parang what's happening? Kasi kung if we're kind of in denial, kung eternal sunshine palagi ng economy, things will keep being dark with the propaganda ng eternal sunshine. So, my news, not bad news, but I think the news na we'd like to share to get the discussion going is that the Philippines is, without a doubt, and confirmed, even in the last 2 years of as the DBM says, the fastest post-Marcos economic growth. Nako-confirm lamang. The Philippines, unambiguously, unarguably, the data is there, is in a very deep structural crisis of jobless and wageless growth. Ngayon, that might be actually jarring for people who've been paying attention to the government economic propagandists, but I think that's the reality. So how do we prove that? First, let's talk about growth. Una, in general, that's a number. Growth is a number. 40 is a number. Yung growth has been very fast. So walang duda doon. In the post-Marcos era, in general, the last 10-15 years have really been the period with the fastest economic growth of the Philippines. So that's a number that really makes sense, and it's true. Very, very rapid economic growth for the last 10 years in particular. So that increased the growth rates from about 2008, I think, until the present. So yes, growth is fast. But the second point, growth since the start of the Duterte administration, unambiguously, has been slowing. The line there marks 2016, pagpasok ng Duterte administration. I think very clear, whatever rapid growth we had over the last decade and a half, upon the Duterte administration, not to say is the Duterte administration slowing, but this para as a marker in terms of chronology, since the start of the Duterte administration, growth has been slowing. It was 6.7% in 2016. It went down to 6.6% in 2017. So far last year, it's down to 6.3%. So, yeah, rapid growth, but nahinto yung growth na yan, hindi rin sa nahinto, it's actually been slowing under the Duterte administration. Tapos, let's talk about that right now for me, it should be the infamous DBM statement. If you're going to talk about the first 2 years of the Duterte administration being the fastest growth in the post-Marcos period, not just tell the whole story. It's also true, the last 2 years, or the first 2 years of the administration, has also seen the worst job generation in the post-Marcos period. Ano numbers natin for that from the Philippine Statistics Authority? These show annual average job generation in the Cory Aquino term, Ramos, Estrada, Arroyo, second Aquino term, and then Duterte. In the last 2 years of so far, the first 2 years of the administration, we've only had average annual job generation of 81,000. 81,000 is not even 1/10 of the peak job generation during the Estrada period. So yes, totoo. Talk about the growth rates, ang bilis naman talaga. From about 3 to 5%, fastest growth talaga. But how do we reconcile that with job generation not following the rapid growth? It's actually been worsening, and it's the worst in the post-Marcos era. So para sa amin, it's more than enough to conclude the growth is not helping the people. If you want something to be inclusive, you have to have the jobs generated by the growth. You also have to have incomes generated by the growth. Ngayon, this chart shows the number of unemployed Filipinos since 1980. Why do we use 1980 as a marker? So I think it's important. Of course, it's kind of fun to talk about economic performance as administration specific. Ang galing ni Aquino, ang palpak ni ganito, ang galing ni Duterte, ganito. Pero the economy is not like that. And I think it's important for us to understand the economy, yeah, may mga highs and lows siya, but in general, it's not actually tied to the administration. The performance of the economy is not due to any particular administration. The performance of the economy is due to the policies that administration implements. Ngayon, why do we use 1980 as a marker? It's so important kasi where the economy is right now is not just because of President Duterte. It's also not just because of President Noynoy Aquino or not just because of President Arroyo. It's about all of them because they started implementing policies of globalization, love the free market, open up, competitiveness, efficiency in the early 1980s. So this chart is so important to understand. This chart shows the number of unemployed in the Philippines since 1980. In the period of globalization, it was supposed to make us competitive, hindi sa longga, manipapira tayong lahat. In the period of globalization, unemployment has been increasing in the Philippines to reach 4.6 million in 2017. There are two colors there because the government did not report the 4.6 million, which they should have. The real number of unemployment is not the 2.4 million they reported in 2017. They changed the definition kind of sneakily in 2005, but reverting to the old definition, which is what makes sense. When you're talking about economic policy, you want to compare apples with apples. You don't want to compare apples with oranges. So what IBON did was they computed the real unemployment. It's 4.6 million unemployed in 2017, the most unemployed in Philippine history, with an unemployment rate of 10.3%, compared to the very, very underreported 2.4 million unemployed by the government and just a 5.7% unemployment rate. So the jobs crisis is real, but it's been disguised by faking the numbers. That chart showed magnitudes. This shows unemployment rates. So again, if our market is 1980, you'll notice that after 1980, unemployment rate increased. It's about 12.5% nung crisis of the 1980s. But important point, after globalization, unemployment soared and stayed high. It only went down this part here because the government changed the definition. If you revert to the old definition, it's quite clear, unemployment has stayed at between 10 to 12% in the last 3.5 decades. So, anong base namin for saying we have a crisis of jobless growth? It's the magnitude of unemployed, the most number in Philippine history in terms of unemployment rates. It's also the longest sustained period of high unemployment in the country's history. We don't have yet alternative estimates for 2018 for unemployment. We need the micro data from the PSA, but may konting time lag, siguro end of the year, last part of the year, mabubuo yun. But having said that, even the data at hand says 2018 is not a good year for the employment situation. This shows job generation on an annual basis. So over 2 million. In 2017, we did just not create jobs, actually lost jobs in 2017, when it created 826,000 jobs last year. Ang problema dyan, it sounds like a lot, but actually just makes up for job losses in 2017. Second important point, if you look at it on a quarterly basis, so there are 4 rounds in labor force survey, this job generation every quarter, on a year-on-year basis, there was 2.4 million jobs created in January. It fell to 625 jobs created in April, falling even further in July to 488,000, and then the last survey in October, a contraction of 218,000. So again, even for 2018, the data at hand, wala tayong job creation. Meron tayong job destruction despite the growth. And things are so bad, this is one of our favorite indicators, more work is found abroad than new jobs are created domestically. Yung 800 plus thousand na work created last year, dividing it by 365 days, that's 2,260 new jobs in the Philippines. Anong reference? Ang problema dyan? By POE data, as of the first semester, nearly 5,800 Filipinos were leaving for work abroad. So sinasabi niyan, more than twice as many Filipinos found work abroad than new jobs were created daily. So again, a pretty bad crisis of joblessness. Wagelessness naman. Bakit may wagelessness sa Philippines? Wages, tumataas naman on a nominal basis. Last decade and half of wages to 8% over 18 years. So again, that's our indicator for wageless growth. Ang tanong, yeah, but there's growth. Hindi lang yun. Not only is there growth, there's actually increasing labor productivity. But if it's not going to the workers, where is it going? This shows labor productivity over the last decade and a half increasing, and really increasing a lot. The green and red line show wages really flat. So where does the difference go? This top chart shows corporate profits. So again, hindi to inclusive. You have productivity and you have increasing profits at the expense of the workers who are not getting any wage increases. So, why is it happening? Is it just because of the President Duterte? Hindi talaga. It's about the economic policies President Duterte inherited and is continuing. What are these policies? All the mga stuff we hear about, free market, competitiveness, mobilization, trade and investment mobilization, opening up to foreign goods, opening up to foreign capital, privatizing everything, not regulating kasi you can't trust corrupt and seeking government. Those are the policies that have caused the Philippine economy to collapse. Ano yung indicate natin ng Philippine economic collapse? Explaining why there's such bad joblessness in the country. Again, marker 1980. The color blue line measures the combined production of the Philippines, agriculture, industry, agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. You'll notice, it's not coincidental, in the exact period that all these globalization policies were being implemented, in that exact period na sinasabi, let's open up to the free market, the Filipino will be competitive. Actually, the Philippine economy's production has been collapsing steadily since 1980, to the point that somewhere in the 1990s, the Philippines became a service economy more than a producing economy. So why are there not enough jobs in the Philippines? Why are jobs of such poor quality? The basic answer is because globalization policies destroyed domestic agriculture, because globalization destroyed domestic industry, and it's turning over even our manufacturing sector to foreigners. Right now, roughly about 60-70% of supposedly Filipino manufacturing is not by Filipinos, it's by foreign transnational corporations based in the Philippines, using our cheap labor, selling their stuff to us overpriced, and then exporting stuff and making their own profits. So, that's our basis for saying, yeah, we got a problem. Palapiting elections, elections are always a good time to challenge candidates, what are your programs, pero sana beyond saying, what's your program for creating jobs? Education, livelihood projects, hindi eh. The Philippines has to industrialize. If no candidate is willing to demand that the Philippine economy overall its policies towards national industrialization, we will be remaining in our structural crisis of jobless and wages growth for an indefinite future. Thank you.